Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr here today and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a Spotlight stencil inlay card featuring some really cute mama elephant images from the January 2021 release, as well as some images from a previous release I thought that worked really well with this. We're going to do some fun stenciling on the background and create this stencil spotlight inlay. So first I did die cut some Neenah Heavyweight 110-pound weight cardstock using the Slim Window Dressing Scallop die. This is pretty much going to cover the entire front of a Slimline card base. So it measures approximately just barely under 8.5 by 3.5 inches. Then I'm going to mask off the stitching line to the scalloped edge, and we're going to take Distress inks and a fun, bright, kind of more of a sherbet, I guess, kind of rainbow rather than a primary rainbow. We're going to use this great Lawn Fawn Hillside Stencil. I love this curved edge. And we're simply going to ink along that edge, just kind of keep moving it to have this waterfall effect of bright rainbow colors. I did something similar to this like a couple of years ago. I will link to that video at the end of this one if you want to see kind of another take on this. But it's really one of my favorite looks. I have not done it. In fact, I'm almost certain it's probably been about 2 years. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to do, I knew which images I wanted to use, and I even kind of knew my layout, but I wasn't I wanted something fun for the background, and this kind of popped into my head, and I love, love, love it. I want to actually play around with border stencils a little bit more, and just to see, kind of some other fun things you can do. In addition to this, we are going to add some very light stenciled stars throughout the background for a little bit of a messier type of look. Love stencil layering. Oh, I just love it because it's all one layer, but it just gives you so much amazing interest to a background. So it looks super messy up here at the top because that is where some of the color is overlapping, but I promise it's not super visible. And then our little chick is going to be kind of standing on the top of the letter T in the word best that we're going to die cut here in a bit. And it kind of disguises that fact as well, so that works out well. The other colors, or all the colors I'm using, are picked raspberry, spiced marmalade, squeezed lemonade, twisted citron, peacock feathers, salty ocean, and shaded lilac. When I lift up that stencil, how beautiful is this background? It really is so, so pretty. I just love it. Another little tip for you, I'm using the same edge of the stencil. However, I'm wiping it clean after each time I change ink colors, so I'm not getting that transfer from the stencil onto my paper. I want the pure Distress ink color and not kind of a muddied down effect. Once we've got our shaded lilac in that upper right corner, we can take a Simon Says stamp simple duo stencil. So this stencil pack, they're a smaller size stencil, like they're going to fit more in the center of what I would say a standard A2 size card base. They're not a 6x6 stencil or anything like that, but it's stars and hearts. Is there anything better? I love a nice basic star and heart. And you would think I would have enough, but I don't. I still get like every star and heart stencil that comes out. I don't know what it is, but I love them. So I'm not re-inking my blending brushes. I'm actually just using them as is, left over from my rainbow, and I'm not doing a perfect stencil. I'm kind of just going in and doing a very light type of stencil. I'm trying to keep it tone on tone as much as possible. So we've got some pinks over here, and then some orange overlaps the orange and yellow in the rainbow. We're going to do a little green, a little peacock feathers, a little salty ocean, and shaded lilac. Just some little messy stars throughout the design. It really does add a lot. I honestly love this background as is. I could see using this for so many things. I know I say this all the time lately, but I am a huge fan of something that can be used more than one way. So maybe you have completely different images than the ones I'm using here today. Maybe you have a border stencil that'll work, or some stars or hearts or some other nice basic shape. Try the stencil layering. Try creating a fun rainbow border. It is just so much fun to play. This honestly was a play type of background. I knew what images I wanted to use the entire time. I just didn't know what background I was going to create. So it was really a nice kind of creative playtime. I'm going to peel off the masking around the edges. We're going to just lay out the stamps. I've already grabbed them and kind of gauged where I want things to go, but I need to lay them out so that I can tape the Best Wishes. This is the big Best Wishes die from Mama Elephant down in place and then die cut that. I left a little room up at the top because I'm going to stamp a phrase up there, and then I'm going to have the chick standing on top of the letter T. We want to save all of the pieces from the die cut. So you can see there's all the little inside pieces of B and E, the B and the E's. Gosh, I can't talk, sorry. And I'm going to very, very gently pop this out. That's because this is the stencil part of the inlay, or the inlay part of the stenciled background, I guess is what I want to say. We're going to put adhesive then on our Slimline card base. This does measure 8.5 by 3.5 inches. I do want to have a little side note here. I don't think all Slimline dies are the same size. I noticed Mama Elephants measure to fit a 8.5 by 3.5 card base. I will get back to you guys. I need to measure like Simon's and Lawn Fawn's just to give you kind of a guideline. I've noticed it in the past when I was creating something else, but just a note so you know what size card these dies fit. And this die pack I used actually has lots of dies because it builds like a whole like windows and the window frames and curtains. It's really, really awesome. I've used it before on my channel. But this is just like the basic scallop die, which I use all the time. I did die cut Best Wishes 2 more times from smooth white cardstock, and the first inlay is a smooth white cardstock inlay. And then I'm going to put all of those little inside pieces from the B and the E's back in place. And I'm working nice and slow. You probably noticed while I was jabbering on there that I had to kind of pop up parts of the background that were not lined up just perfectly. And I just worked really slow and gentle to get that inlay perfect. Then I'm just drawing on a nice thin line of glue and laying on the next layer of cardstock. I get asked all the time about that fine tip adhesive applicator. It's called Scrap Perfect, or that's the brand. I do link to it in the supplies underneath the video here if you want to check it out. The awesome thing about it, this particular one fits the mini size glossy accents, multi-matte medium. I have reused my tips over and over on many, many, many bottles of glue. In fact, I had to switch my glue on this project. Midway through, I ran out. So it is so awesome. I love this tip. I can hardly go back to using those products without the tip on it because I just love how precise the glue is. Okay, we have got our background, so let's go ahead and do some stamping and coloring. I did leave in the coloring today, so if you love that, awesome. If not, go ahead and skip forward to watch the rest of the video, or the rest of the card get put together, I guess I want to say. but I did no line coloring. So I've stamped everything with Lawn Fawn Jellyfish ink. This is the no line coloring ink from Lawn Fawn. Really love it. I use it all of the time. And I stamped everything on Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I'm coloring with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. It's been a minute since I've used them. I used them on a Valentine's card here a few days ago. I'm trying to think when I put that video up, but that was like the first time I'd used them in a while. I go in phases where I use Copics or other products, or I don't do any coloring. You know, I've just used a lot of Copic markers this month, which is awesome and great. I just have kind of going back here for a little no line coloring with my Zigs. It's a nice, trusty, reliable, for me anyway. I always feel so comfortable with them. I'm getting better at the Copic markers and no line coloring, but I just really, really love how these look. I have listed the colors across the top of the screen. I am using quite a lot of colors in this video today. There's a lot of images. There's a lot of little bits and pieces. This is a really fun stamp set, you guys. Milkshake is the name of it, and it's got all these cute milkshake glasses and all of the cute critters, and then all of the great like donuts and things that are embellishing and cute straws. I just really wanted to add lots of color to complement the rainbow design we did in the background. As far as the images from the stamp set that I used, I think I used almost everything. I think the only things I didn't use were a couple of teeny tiny embellishment type images, like there's some little hearts and like some little individual sprinkles and whipped topping and things, and the sentiments. I didn't use the sentiments from this set, not because I didn't like them. It was mostly a size type of thing or the particular layout of the greeting. I opted to use a greeting from the Mama Elephant Donut Treats stamp set, which was released a while ago, not recently at all. And I love that it goes together. And the great thing about it is there's these cute little donuts, and then there's some mice in this stamp set, and then birthday sentiments, or can be birthday sentiments, which I thought just the size and scale of the sentiment worked really nice with this, and that's why I'm going to use those instead. I did not stamp those images right off the bat, so you don't see those here. Everything you're seeing me color right now is from Milkshake. We'll color the mouse in the donut, the individual mouse, and I think maybe that's it, from the Donut Treats stamp set here in a little bit. I knew I wanted to use it. I had it laying out, but I thought until I got these images stamped and colored, die cut, laid on the card for real, I wasn't going to commit to coloring anything extra. I probably should have just done it because I ended up using them anyway. The only question was I actually thought I would use a different donut image, and I ended up using the single donut with the mouse in it, so I'm glad I held off, I guess, in that respect. And I'm also going to stamp 2 more strawberries from Milkshake because I think that strawberry is so cute. I don't know why I think it's so cute, but I do. And I like it tucked around the bases of like the Milkshake glasses and mugs and things, so we will stamp and color a couple more of those. I took forever coloring this image. I don't know what my deal was. Also, you probably, while I was jabbering, I colored the inside of this glass with the green shadow in the blender, not even thinking that I wanted to make it more of a see-through type of thing where you could see the brown, like I was imagining like a chocolate milkshake in this one. So I actually just colored back over that with the beige and light beige. And I like how it turned out because I even like that it has a little bit of that green tint to the background, almost like you're looking through this green glass. And then I just created some like little bubbles, foamy bubbles and things inside. The little bunny that's tucked in this one, always such a hit. I love, 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 love the Mama Elephant bunnies. And then just adding all of the great accessories. I think that looks like maybe a macaroon, do you guys think? That's what I imagined it, so if it's not, you know, oops. So I did a little lavender macaroon, and then up above the bunny, sticking out behind, I actually imagined those as like spoons, the handle of spoons sticking down into the cup. I decided I didn't want to do any more color here. I also should note that I fixed the marshmallow here a second ago too. It looks more like a little toasted marshmallow. I originally used like haze blue and I did not like that at all either. So I simply colored over it because it was light enough. Same goes for the milkshake in the glass. I think it's important to note that and let you guys know that instead of restamping and recoloring, I just made it work. I often, if you will persevere, unless it's just a really big uh-oh, which does happen, you can often fix things. I try to usually go light because it does allow a little bit more forgiveness if you need to go over it with a darker color later on. The strawberry is red in the blender and then light green and yellow green. And then I'm simply taking a black pen. You'll notice the bunny, I went back in and added the bunny's eyes. I added spots back into the strawberry. Those are all parts of the original image. They do get lost in a no-line coloring situation. So I like to always take a black pen and add that back in. The mug for this one, I'm using light blue and a blender for this. And this is like more of like a, I don't know, an orange soda milkshake. I don't know. Is that even a flavor? I just wanted bright and colorful, so I have no idea. I'm going to use scarlet red, pale orange, and a blender for the insides of that one. I guess we'll frost our donut first. The donuts are beige and light beige. And then the frosting here is red and pale pink. You can also use the blender and get pretty much the same look. The whipped topping, I did use beige and light beige. Beige is pretty sparing. That goes for the marshmallow and any whipped topping that you'll see. So it's going to be an outline of beige and then very, very tiny touch of light beige, which is super duper light. And then blender if you need it. I don't think I even used the blender on all of it. But if you do need to keep it even lighter, the blender is a fantastic option. And then the straw in this one, I'm going to do a little rainbow, which I actually really, really love. One of my favorite things to do with Mama Elephant images, and Lawn Fawn for that matter too, often there's like something in a lot of the stamp sets that can be colored rainbow. And when there is, I will color it rainbow, especially if there's rainbow somewhere else on the card. So of course there's the rainbow we've created for the background, and then I'm using all the colors of the rainbow in the images that I'm coloring. And I just think it's a fun touch. For example, if there are winter critters that have a scarf, I love the rainbow scarf. You guys, if you already follow me, you probably already know that. But I think it's just a fun little way to just give a nice little nod to the rainbow in a card design. So here is that. We still need to frost that last donut, and then I think those are like little sprinkles on top. I'm not exactly sure. I kind of imagined them as sprinkles or candy or something. So I'll do the donut top with mid-brown and beige. We're just going to go around those. And then I'm going to color in all the little sprinkles. We're going to call them sprinkles. I'm going to color those in with red, peach pink, and sugared almond pink, and a blender if needed. And then we can move on to our other images. So these are pretty detailed. I love them. I'm always just amazed at all the cute images that Mama Elephant comes out with. And probably something I should have noted as well, something fantastic that Mama Elephant does, Fawn does it, I'm sure other companies do as well, I just work with them a lot. They bring out images that coordinate back to things they have already previously released. For example, the donut treats stamp set we're using today goes with this perfectly. You could also use any of the other stamp sets that have the kitties, dogs, bunnies, chicks, and you could mix and match and add additional critters with this. So maybe you just want to use the milkshake glass that has the bunny and you want to have a card full of bunnies. There are so many Mama Elephant stamp sets that you can use that have bunnies in them to create a completely unique design. It really extends the life of product that you may already have. You can mix in some new with some of your old favorites. For this milkshake glass, we're going to do peach pink and sugared almond pink. Also a lot of blender. I did that first on the glass, so because that works so well for the first glass, I'm kind of doing the same thing for this one. I'm just doing it a little bit lighter and doing a little beige and light beige in the cup over top of the pink. I already have the whip topping on top of that. This one has a little puppy down near the base. There's 2 straws in this one. I decided to do the straws. One is turquoise and green, one is white and red. White and red is going to be like the straw in the first image we colored. It's not truly white. Because we have color everywhere else, I don't like to leave it pure white, so I like to take a little light gray. And I'm just kind of tracing out the shape, which it looks super gray until you pair it with red. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, it's red and white. But it actually is that nice light gray. And that way it just gives it some nice shading and outline. For our little pup, we are going to do a little black and white coloring, and it's again not really black and white. In fact, I probably could have gone a little bit darker, but I didn't want to grab another marker. I wanted to use the one I already had out. So this is like a gray brown and light gray, and then we'll use quite a bit of blender on this one. I'm just drawing in spots with my marker and then kind of outlining him before blending it with light gray in the blender, a little pale pink for the cheeks. And then taking a black pen and going back in and adding in the detail for his face. Kitty is last for right now. And I love coloring in like a little orange tabby kitty. So to do that, we are going to color with brown, light brown, and light beige. I also forgot the whip topping on top of the chick's head, so that's going to just add that in. We'll grab our light brown and kind of trace out our kitty, and then take light beige to blend out. Really nice. Pull that color towards the center. And then we'll go back in with brown, which they call this color brown, and it to me is not brown, but that's okay. I've always used it more as a rust color, and just kind of coloring in the little tabby stripes. Can always add more color as needed. So I felt like it was a little harsh, so I'm going to pull some more of the light brown out into the rest of the kitty, and that's going to balance it nice. Again, we want to draw back in the eyes, the nose, the whiskers, and die cut everything and kind of lay everything out on our card to see where we're at, see what else might be needed. I'm going to play around with placement. This is a good opportunity because I wanted to do it the way I end up doing it, but I flipped them here thinking, well, maybe I'll like this better. I don't. But this is the time. This is before you commit to anything, play around with placement, because a lot of times you might want to switch where you put certain things, or maybe you need to shift it over a little bit. I'm going to need to have the puppy overlap the S in Best Wishes. We also want the handle of the orange soda milkshake mug to overlap the W in Wishes, just to kind of make everything fit together super nice and leave enough room for the additional images from donut treats that we will be adding to our card. So now that I kind of see what I've got, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment from Donut Treats. I am stamping Hope Your Day is Sprinkled with Joy, which I thought was cute. We're going to stamp that with VersaFine ONYX black ink up at the top. So I talk a lot about ink choices and how I will very, very often use a colorful ink, especially if there's not a lot of black anywhere else on the card. So I did no line coloring and there's not a black outline, but I really felt like any color I used would not show up against that rainbow, or it would just kind of blend in too much to the background. So I did opt for a black ink for this particular card, and I do think it was the right call because it is very easy to read, especially with our Best Wishes being an inlay that kind of fades into the background, if you will. And so I really wanted it to stand out. There's a few other phrases from Donut Treats that would really work cute as well. You donut even know how excited I am about your birthday. There's a lot of donuts in this card. I think that would be cute. Thanks for being super sweet if you want to make it a thank you card. The other birthday sentiment in here that's so funny, you're old ... but you donut look it. Happy birthday. I love that one. I think that's cute too. So I am popping up everything but the chick. I didn't think the chick would look as cute popped up, so he's going to be glued directly to the background, and as you can see, he kind of covers up where all those inks were overlapping at the top of our rainbow. But everything else is popped up, which makes it nice if it overlaps the die cut sentiment that is also raised up, because that way everything is laying nice and not looking kind of wonky. I'm using some foam adhesive squares back behind these images. I'm just playing around with placement, trying to get, you know, the perfect little spot. I kind of love how the puppy and the kitty end up framing up the word wishes. That was my thinking for moving him from between the two glasses over here on the left to the other side of that mug. These are the remaining images for my card. So we've got the strawberries and we've got the two mice images. I am just using any of the same colors I already have out, so I did not list those. These are really small. You can see I just filled in scrap areas on that Bristol smooth sheet of cardstock that I used for everything else. Once we have these guys all colored in, we can die cut them and add them to our card design. Now, these mice have party hats, which kind of help make this a birthday card, because definitely these images do not have to be a birthday card. I think if I wanted to make this something else, I would have just chosen to not use a mouse image with birthday party hat, and probably would have gone with a different stamp set. But I was using a sentiment from this, and so I thought these were cute, and I thought it all worked together. I always need a birthday card. So Now just drawing in eyes, whiskers, all that good stuff. I have adhered my images to my card base. So the mouse in the donut is adhered with foam adhesive over on the right side, kind of by that glass. And then we have one strawberry popped up and another one lying flat over here on the left side of the card, and then another strawberry over by the kitty. The last mouse is popped up standing on top of one of the, or part of the letter W. The final thing we're going to do today for our card is take some little iridescent star confetti and scatter those throughout the card design. I've been getting tons and tons of questions about the embellishment wand I'm using. It is from Studio Katja, I think is how you say it. I hope I said that right. I don't think it's available at Simon Says Stamp anymore. Please do see if you can maybe get it directly from them if you're interested in it. I love it because it has the crystals in it. I know that's why you guys have been asking about it. I don't know if it's been discontinued or what, but I did just want to mention that because I do get tons and tons of questions about it every time I use it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this Spotlight Stencil Inlay Card featuring Mama Elephant stamps and dies. The supplies I used to create my card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another video featuring that rainbow background with a stencil that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.